Watching now, Secretary of the Treasury Scott Bessent speaking in Washington about the Trump account, saying that around 600,000 American families have already opted in for a Trump account. And according to his estimate, it's set to grow to $500,000 by retirement age. And he says it's the best gift for a child that he can receive. And joining us to discuss this further is Tim Dozier, Executive Director of Unleash Prosperity, and Michael Busler, Professor of Finance, Stockton University. So first of all, good afternoon to you both. Tim, I'd like to start with you. So having heard what Secretary of Treasury Scott Bessent said just now and what President Trump has said earlier today, what is your feeling about Trump accounts?
Well, as you've been seeing all morning, and by the way, I was at the event earlier before the president spoke and as the president was speaking, and you see these families in there, a lot of kids joining, and you start to think about what is the real thing happening here. And the real thing happening here is we're changing the conversation in Washington, D.C. to away from Social Security, this tired, broken system that has been pillaged and taken from and not a reliable form of retirement from this generation coming up. And we're putting it in the hands of parents and children for their future. Like you said, even if you did nothing with this money, by age 55, you're going to have $200,000 waiting for you. That's an estimate, of course. And that right there is a better return than anything that the government could make. And President Trump made that point today. And so I think this really is an incredible opportunity for parents to take control, to have a leg up in not only just providing money and financing, but to be able to talk to their kids about the greatest force in the universe, according to Ben Franklin, and that's compound interest. What a cool opportunity.
All right, Michael, what do you think?
I agree with Tim completely. This is absolutely marvelous. And I'll tell you, some of the long-term benefits, so many of the young today are starting to question capitalism. They're starting to look at socialism. We see in some cities, even like New York, socialists are being elected into mayor. And a lot of people are starting to look to have the government take care of them. What this does, it puts at least $1,000 at birth, and the money keeps growing. It's invested typically in a mutual fund or an ETF, and it will continue to grow. And then children, as they're growing up, as soon as they're old enough to use their smartphone, which I think is relatively young now, they're going to take a look and say, you know, I'm part of the system now. I own shares in these companies. This is not just a difference between capital and labor. We've kind of bridged the gap here. Everybody that eventually these kids will start working, but they'll have investments in corporations. So when the economy grows and these companies say our earnings are going up, everybody's going to say, hey, that benefits me. My account's going up too. I see the value of capitalism. I see how capital grows, the importance of compounding. And you know, every time my grandparents or relatives want to give me a $50 gift card for my birthday, I'll just say, put it into my account here, these Trump accounts, and the money will grow. This is a monumental, massive, positive impact on the youth that will end up helping the economy grow going forward and helping young people really understand how the economy works. This is marvelous.
Okay, so Tim, you made a great point about compound interest being a great force. So there is a $5,000 cap on yearly investments across all accounts. Do you think these rules ensure that all families are given a fair shot at maximizing benefits?
I think that's what they could get at the time. Obviously, it would be great to have no cap, but of course, that was not the size of the one big beautiful bill to allow it. So I think it's a great start. I mean, an IRA, you're looking at probably $7,000 max for contribution per year. So you're not too far behind with the Trump accounts. But this really is something, I just wanted to pivot. Think about what this actually says. This says, this teaches children that American companies are worth investing in. It's not sending part of your paycheck to the federal government who will then dole it out when you reach a certain age, and you're not exactly sure how they got to that number, and it's really confusing. What you're doing is you're teaching kids that the best investment that you can make is in the American entrepreneurial ingenuity and that spirit that has made us the wealthiest nation in the history of the world. This has really become such an inspiring thing. And look, not everybody's going to teach their kids this. Not everybody's going to teach their kids that what's happening to their money. But the parents who do that, who would not have done that had this not been there, is going to be a transformative thing. It's going to inspire young kids to be entrepreneurs, to look at the world differently. I wish I had this when I was a kid. I really do, because it would have helped me conceptualize something super complex, because now I have an ownership stake in it and I better be responsible for that.
So, Michael, what do you think of Tim's point that do you think these accounts will help positively promote and incentivize financial planning or wealth building for more families?
It'll benefit everybody. And one thing that is a unique feature of this, well, people could say, look, I can put money into an IRA. However, you have to have earned income. So if you've earned over $7,000, you can take $7,000 per year and put it into a retirement account. These kids don't have to earn any income. So money can go into there whenever anybody wants to make a gift. A kid starts working as a teenager. He's making a few dollars. He starts putting some of that into there, and he understands that when, instead of going out and spending their money on something foolish, they're going to take that money, put it into the account, and they know it's going to grow. So I think it's a huge benefit to all Americans. And as Tim said, if you're a little worried about what's happening with the Social Security system, is it going to have any money when I get there? I've been telling my students for years, I wouldn't count on Social Security when you retire. I would plan on something else. If there's money there, that's great. If it turns out there's not so much money there, you've taken care of it yourself. Well, here, somebody can start at birth putting money away. When they turn 18, they may be able to use it for a number of different things. If they don't, and they just leave it in there and keep adding to it, by the time they're retirement age, there could be millions of dollars in there. You know, a lot of people say, well, I don't want to work. I hear a lot of my students say, I don't want to work till I'm 65. I want to retire at 40. Well, that's great, but it's financially difficult to do. But if you start putting money into an account like this and don't touch it and let it grow through compounding and adding more in, you'll be able to retire when you decide, not when the federal government tells you it's time to retire.
Okay, so
and you'll be able to retire a millionaire. I mean, you literally will retire a millionaire. It's an incredible thing to tell your kids. You want to be a millionaire? This is what you have to do. Do it.
So Tim, Michael brought up a great point. So I want to ask you, how do Trump accounts compare to existing plans? For example, 529 plans.
Well, look, I think that what they did was that you actually can put this toward education. You actually can do this. And basically the 529 is an account the parent sets up for the kid that follows them when they are college age. And I think that they've actually adjusted the law, or they're trying to adjust the law so you can actually spend some of that money before they get college age. That would be a great thing, actually. But this isn't dedicated solely on going to college or on education. This is a savings account. This is an account that you can have control over and dominion over to start a business, or to continue to invest in. It really is a different thing from the 529, which focuses on education.
Okay, Tim. Michael, what are your thoughts on this opt-in structure versus automatic enrollment? Because sometimes when it's opt-in, maybe some Americans will miss enrollment.
Well, what opt-in does, it puts the responsibility on you. The prior administration in particular has been trying to shift away from individual responsibility and towards social responsibility. Don't worry, the government will take care of you. Well, the government's not going to take care of you, and I wouldn't rely on it anyway. This says you're responsible for your own account here. And if you decide you want to sacrifice a little now and put more money in so that you have more when you're 18, this will do that for you. A lot of high school graduates today are starting to question the value of a college education. I think that may be a mistake, but nonetheless, they're questioning the value of a college education. So here will be something, you'll have money saved up. Well, I don't want to go to college. You know what? Maybe I can start my own business. I have an idea for something. I see something else that's working. All I need is a little bit of capital. Well, here you go. You have a little bit of capital. It gives people more options and more opportunities. And they know that they have individual responsibility. And when they end up taking the money and using it, they'll have earned the rewards themselves. Great feeling of self-worth. And that's what the U.S. economy is based on. Individuals taking chances and individuals succeeding and individuals growing as a result of the investment and the chances that they made. This is monumental.
Okay, Tim, I'll end with you if you have any additional thoughts you have right now.
Well, what I want to say is that I'm expecting, we are expecting our first child June 1st. So this will be a Trump account baby. And my wife and I have spent significant time. And the reason why I continue to harp on this notion of changing the narrative is that now we have something to point to instead of, the government is terrible at, whatever. Well, the government has realized now under Trump that prosperity does not start with government. Prosperity starts with American ingenuity, which is represented in index accounts all across the stock market. And that is something that our little girl is going to be able to benefit from. And believe it or not, she will understand what that account means for her. And we hope that she chooses the best for it.
Well, Tim, I got to congratulate you on your upcoming child. Thank you both for speaking to us about this topic today. Really appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
A government funding deadline is approaching as lawmakers remain divided over DHS